Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Noobsy Night Gaming. In today's episode, we will be covering part 3 of the I'm Him series, which is basically just a series of which I got the Biwa. Right off the bat, I just want to say to everybody, I am deeply, deeply sorry for how long it has taken for this video to come out. I'm not going to excuse it. It was laziness and spring break. So I was dealing with, all the stuff that comes before spring break with schools and whatnot. And so yeah, I've just been lazy and I haven't posted lately. So I'd really like to get this video out because it has been sitting in my to be edited list for a very long time. So I'm very excited to get this video out. And without further ado, why don't we go ahead and jump right on in. Also, really quickly, I just wanted to show this is the photo of me beating Jealousy Nightmare Chapter 4, just so that I can prove to you that I did actually do it in reverse. As you can see, I got the last piece of the Biwa first. I just want to let you guys, I'm not lying, I did do this in backwards order. Also, one last really quick thing, I am just coming off of an illness, so I'm very sorry if my voice sounds weird, but just to let you know. Okay, let's jump into the video for real this time. Okay, just for some context, if you have not seen any of the previous videos in the series, I would absolutely recommend it. I will put the link to the playlist down below. That playlist is going to be to the entire Days Until Mug just gives you all the lanterns for free series, which is also a great series that I absolutely recommend you watching. I mean, you obviously don't have to. You can watch this video alone. I think this is going to be a perfectly fine video to watch alone, but I would definitely recommend watching the series in order. But I'm still going to give a basic explanation as to what the series is, what are the rules, and just what it is. Okay, so for those of you who don't even know what the Mimic are, let me start there. The Mimic is a game on Roblox. It is generally considered a horror game. I mean, I wouldn't really describe it as anything else. Maybe a storytelling game, but it is generally considered a horror game. And so, since this is actually my favorite horror game of all time, I decided to start a series showing the owner of this game that I'm good enough for every single lantern, because obviously I've missed out on the ones you have to buy in the shop and or the limited time event ones, and just to overall grow my personal skills as a player on the Mimic. I mean, I love this game and I'm always down to get better and to help other people out just whenever I can. Like in the Christmas special, I tried to get people the lantern even though there wasn't a lantern, and then I got I got people the newly renovated Chino lantern, and so that's just the kind of stuff I do on this channel. And so how this works is I run a trial. I have one attempt. If I beat it on nightmare mode, then I don't have to do a punishment. And if I fail, I have to do one of the punishments that you guys in the comments leave down below on any one of the videos related to this series. And so if I fail, obviously I'll do that punishment. And that's pretty much the whole premise. So let's do one last thing, and it's just a quick recap of what I've already done. I have already shown you how I got the money to buy the Biwa for this event. It was by beating Jealousy Chapter 4 in Nightmare mode, and the previous video that came out right before this one was getting the first piece of the Biwa in Control Chapter 4 Nightmare. Granted, I did not play any of these in solo. However, the rules don't actually say I have to. So, without further ado, why don't we get into today's video, which is going to be Control Chapter 3 Nightmare. So why don't we go ahead and hop right on into that. Okay, so just for some context, the only reason I'm showing this really boring gameplay footage right now is to prove that this is exactly where I left off, because I did this all in a row with no deaths, and I want to convey that as truthfully and honestly as I can, and that's why I'm showing you this. It is in 2x speed, I know, but I mean, that doesn't really matter. I just want to show you that this was immediately after the previous trial ended. The same people are in my lobby, the same people I played with last round, And on my PlayStation, which is the device I took all these clips with, for the very last video, I want to show you all the timestamps. I mean, I don't really have that much of a viewer base, so, I mean, like, what max case scenario, 50 people are going to call me a liar. That's how much I usually average on videos, I think. But still, I just want to show you that I did this as truthfully and honestly as I possibly can. See, now I'm leaving and rejoining because I'm trying to find a new lobby, and this is when I actually get into the game. And once again, I'm really sorry for the boring gameplay footage. I want to be as transparent as possible about this, and you'll see all of this in the unedited version too, but I just want this to be as clear as possible that I did all of this back to back, no cheating, and this is exactly how it went in the lobby. So yeah, this is me actually getting into the game though. I've said that way too many times. I'm so sorry. This is the, okay. I'm actually getting into the game. Alright, let's go. So, for those of you who don't know what the Biwa event is, let me explain something that I know I haven't explained in any prior video. Every single entity in the Biwa event, and I didn't explain this last time because it doesn't come up in Control Chapter 4, every single entity with a Biwa in this event is like, I don't know the exact multiplier, but it's like they're on drugs. They're insanely fast, and it's really, really difficult to beat them. This is the first level I encountered them, and so you'll see how that goes. They're very difficult to beat. I'm going to give you my strategy and my game plan, and I'll show you how I beat them. So this code right here is the exact same every single playthrough. So if you just memorize it right now, you can run straight to the exit. Okay, so for this code part, the reason I put it in 2x speed is because I took a PlayStation screenshot of it and was just looking back at that, and it took a very long time. But just to let you know, the code is always going to be 3015. It's always going to be the code. You don't have to go look at the code. You can just run straight to where we just were, put in 3015, and you'll be good to go. The only reason I did this is because this is the first time I played this trial, and I don't even know how long. So yeah, and same thing for this code, which is 8749. Every single time, you can just walk up to the exit door, punch in 8749, and you'll be good to go. But this part is still kind of cool if you want to scare your friends or if it's your first time playing. So yeah. Oh, also, later on, this is the Biwa entity that is going to be, like, absolutely cracked, because every entity in Control that has a Biwa for this event was insanely buffed. In Nightmare, not Normal Mode. So, if you were doing this event during Normal Mode, you'd be perfect. And just like that, we are on to the next part of the level. So this is the part with the guy with the Biwa. That was a lot of widths, I know. So for this level, your goal is to run lantern to lantern, the ones far off in the distance, solving 2 puzzles while you're at it, and avoiding the guy with the Biwa. The guy with the Biwa will come at you, and you will only be safe if you're inside the house, or, there he is, or on top of one of these lanterns. Just being in the lantern's light does not confirm you safety. I have died way too many times just because I was near a lantern, and so yeah. Alright, now for the puzzle. With your cursor, you're going to look directly at the black lines, click them a few times, and they should rotate perfectly until they light up white. and then that's when it opens, and you receive your sword. Now with this sword, you are going to continue to follow the lanterns. Oh, and there's Biwa guy. Remember, stay as close to the lantern as you possibly can. And he's insanely fast, and even has some cool new voice lines for this event. I usually like to gun it to this side lantern before gunning it to that one, but you can just go straight for it. I was just trying to be safe because of the new event. Now, I would not do what my teammate just did there. It's always safer to conserve sprint, especially when he was this nearby. And you see why it's not okay to just stand near the lantern. And so now it's just me on this level, all alone. My teammate has died very early on, but there is a great benefit to dying in Nightmare Mode on Control, and that is, when you die, if your teammate reaches the next level, you are automatically revived. So, I was just hoping that this guy wouldn't leave, because I know, obviously, I can beat this level. So as long as he stays, he should be able to help me later. So now that I've placed the wooden sword there, it has opened a door at the end of the trial, which you would pretty much just find on your way if you were following the lanterns anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to know about this level. Just go lantern to lantern, be very, very careful, especially because of how fast and dangerous this guy was on this level. But even in normal mode, you still got to be careful. You could see the door a little bit off in the distance. At this point, once you reach it this far, you can pretty much just book it. You're guaranteed safety. I'm pretty sure he can't chase you into here because I've never been chased into there, but whatever. So this part is pretty cool. Okay, thankfully my teammate is staying with me. If he wasn't, that would be unfortunate because, again, you get revived after each part in Control Nightmare, so do not leave if you die. This part is pretty cool. It's just like a little segue area where you gotta avoid all the arms. Really simple, really easy, but it is an embarrassing way to die because you can absolutely die on this part, and I died many times doing this on normal mode the first time I played, but it's pretty embarrassing to die on in Nightmare. So just avoid them, take the route I took, and you will be fine. So for this part, it's very, very simple. This is pretty much just for lore right here, because that's the witch, and you see her in like her true scorpion spider form. I don't know. Anyway, you have to do your very best to climb up this tree. I was kind of struggling. You can usually get up better than me. I don't know what was going on right here. So you turn around and there's your butterfly right there. Grab it, you're good to drop all the way down. Go back to the center of the room, place it, and now the door all the way across the room is opened and you're good to go through it. Alright, now we are approaching the end of the trial. This part, I personally think, is one of the hardest. I don't really think the finale level is that difficult, but this upcoming level can be really difficult if you let it be. As you can see, my teammate has been revived, as I said. So for this first part, it's a puzzle, and I'm going to speed it up and show you all of the locations of everything. You open this door, which key 1 is needed. It's just right by the TV, which I guess my teammate grabbed. It's right by the TV, in case you didn't see it. And so for this part, you need to grab a rose, a spirit, and a katana. They're in every single room. It looks like my teammate is carrying right now and has grabbed the first two. There's actually nothing in this room, so I don't know why I was... Oh, I take it back. There was a butterfly in that room. Anyways, and then you go back to the same starter room and you place your corrupted item. So all the way at the end of the hall, where I'm currently sprinting towards, is the rose. The katana is in the first room, which I passed and I was telling you about. And so once my teammate goes and places his two corrupted items, this door will open, and it leads you to another level with an actual entity in it this time. First part of this level, you just walk through this normal corridor. You get a jump scare, nothing too crazy. gosh, my ears. Okay, this part is quite difficult. Not insane or anything, but quite difficult. So, where I am right now is the last safe point. Now I'm going into where I can actually be killed. So, the goal of this level is to go around and burn all the cursed bells. I will warn you, this part took me a little bit longer than it usually would, considering I was so rusty, and I didn't have all of the locations memorized. See how I ran back to safety to regain my sprint? But be warned, this living room area is not safe. I was only standing here so that I could figure out where she was. My teammate rushes off into that room. And so the areas I'm facing right now, there's pretty much a bell in about every single room except that giant starting room I was just in. So the bell in this room is, oh, and I turn around. Okay, there's a bell behind this. Did you see it? Right there. Hold up. Let's get a quick rewind on that. And again, the only reason I didn't get that bell is because I was really, really rusty while doing this event. This was my first attempt. I was kind of nervous, and I was just playing it completely cautious. I'm going to circle and point out all of the bells locations. You saw me get the first one. But I'm going to speed it up, that way this part isn't too agonizingly long, because it took me a hot minute to remember where all the bells were. Okay, so you see how she just passed by? What I did here is not an effective strategy for this level. I was trying to track and see what her path is. Something I did not realize until later on in this playthrough and on just later playthroughs in general is that, and this is how she caught me, she flickers like to visible and then back to invisible. So she is not always visible. So yeah, trying to watch out for her path isn't exactly the most effective. So, as you can see, by the time I finally realized that that one was there, my teammate had already gotten it, but whatever. I just want to point out as many as I possibly can. Also, in this point of the video, I was completely stumped, so I actually decided to Google the locations.
Brother, this guy stinks!
So I decided to Google the locations of all of the bells, and I'm just gonna, yeah. And so that was the final bell, and so now all I have left to do is basically the same thing in the Krampus level. You walk up to her, and you have to steal the spirit from her. Personally, I think the best location to do this is to get her to start chasing you from the kitchen, run back, and then go to the safe zone and like grab it from inside the safe zone. That's what I personally think is the best. Again, I was kind of lost here, so I was Googling what to do. I thought I still had one more bell location, So I'm just gonna skip to the part where I actually get the flower. You gotta be careful not to go too deep in the safe zone though, or she won't like stand there in front of the safe zone for you to easily grab it. So you gotta make sure that you're pretty close to her to be able to grab it. And that's it. All that we have left now is to do the final finale part, which I personally think is kind of easy. Also, the reason I keep checking my menu is, again, to check and see if my teammate is still there. Because, I mean, it's very useful to have a teammate. I mean, he got one bell. I mean, it's one bell I didn't get. So, yeah, all you have left is one more little puzzle part, and then you're off to the finale. It's actually the exact same map as before, except this time you don't need to check all the rooms. I don't know why I was. You just run straight to the end and you're at the finale. Also, a little fun fact, lore tidbit that I did not know. Those paintings are actually supposed to be of the witch, or Sama, which is just the name of the control demon, and people call her the witch Sama, so yeah. Okay, so for this part, you actually want to do the exact opposite of what you were doing earlier. You want to stay away from the lanterns, because that is where Slug Sama, or the Slug Witch, I don't know what she is. It's like a weird spider, slug, scorpion mix. Point being, you do not want to go anywhere near the lanterns, because she actually goes directly through the lanterns, and she basically just eats away at your health extremely fast. So for this part, you want to look out for the giant red lightsabers. Those are the puzzles, and like you see that one right there, and you just want to turn them into green lightsabers. I don't actually know if there's a real strategy to solving the puzzles. I just kind of fiddle with them until they turn green, so I'm sorry, I'm probably not your best guy. I did not need to be standing that far away, but you know, it also doesn't necessarily hurt because she does a lot of damage really, really fast. So basically you click on these skulls, and I just click on them and just keep messing up the pattern basically until it turns green. And then once I hear her coming, I back up, watch out for the tail whip because that also does damage, and just keep fiddling with the puzzle until you get it right. Just like that. So once again, stay far away from the lanterns. I spot another lightsaber tower. Also, for this level, there are 4 towers. It takes me a while to get to the next one, so I'm going to speed up. And for this part, the reason I'm standing so far away is just because I want to see where she is. Also, that one eye that's green, well, number 1, that's the exit. Number 2, that means my teammate also successfully did a pillar. I mean, we heard the noise earlier, but that noise and one eye being fully green basically just means a teammate has completed a puzzle. And I hear her coming, so I back up. I think I backed up way too early and way too far. Although, again, I was nervous because I had not played this in a really, really long time, so I was just testing the waters to see if I remembered what to do. That puzzle took a little bit too long. And we can see that one eye is still red, meaning there is probably at least one remaining puzzle, and we see it off in the distance. So I hear the slithering, and I know I gotta watch out for Sama. And I basically just book it over to the last lightsaber, or pillar, or whatever they're called. And I gotta give it to my teammate. He was very, very useful for this final part. I'm very grateful. And so now that both eyes are green, that means the door is open, and that's pretty much wraps for Sama. And that means we have officially where I have officially completed Control Chapter 3 in Nightmare Mode for the Biwa Lantern event. So now, after a sneaky little transition change, you get some lore and some text. You walk down this long, creepy hallway with all of the opponents you've run into before, but for me, I haven't run into them yet because I did this in backwards order. And just like that, we get our next piece of the lantern, and we see the setup for the next trial that I have already completed. So now all I have left to do is Control Chapter 2 and Control Chapter 1 Nightmare Mode. Well, anyway, that's all for this trial. I successfully got another Biwa piece, and I'll see you for the ending. And just like that, we have our second piece of the Biwa. Only 2 more to go. And with that, I would like to thank you so much for tuning into another fantastic episode of Noobs Unite Gaming. I really hope you're enjoying this series, I really hope you're enjoying this sub-series, and I really, really hope you enjoyed this episode. Once again, the game name is Mimic on Roblox. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. I loved the Mimic, and I'm so happy that I can be playing it and just spreading it with my small community, and hopefully I'm getting you guys to like it too. So anyway, this is Noobs Unite Gaming, signing